Hello everyone, today's Saturday the 15th of November and I just want to discuss about the trades that I'm eyeing up for next week, which will be the 47th week of the month. Right, so let's get to it. First off, I just want to say that this is not financial advice. So don't be copying these trades. This is just my outlook for the coming week. First off, I'm just going to say, when it comes to the markets, that when it comes to commodities, energies, metals, agriculturals, excuse me, I won't be trading them next week, just for the simple fact that the American government has only just put an end to its government shutdown, so the COT data has still not been released. I'm hoping that by the time next Friday comes, we have the latest figures from the COT report, and that's what I will commence analysing and possibly trading the commodities. So as it stands, there'll be no commodities for me until we get that data. So right, I'm going to start with the indices. Now I've got my eye on three. The first one is the Dow Jones. Now let's cover that one first. Right, the Dow Jones. Right, the chart at the top is the weekly chart, and below is the daily. Now I think I've drilled down. Right, first off, we have a nice, really nice zone on the weekly chart. This here is my base candle, and then we have a nice explosive candle to the upside. Now let's switch to the daily. Now the zone I've got my eye on right now is the one here, this candle, which is marked out at the $46,381. That's where my alert is set to. But let's have a look at this. But what I've actually done is I've drilled a little bit into the lower time frame onto the 12-hour zone. So on the 12-hour chart, I've actually found this zone here, which I'm actually gonna bring my alert down a touch to the $46,186 mark. Now I like to drill down when I find good zones, depending on the instrument that I'm trading. I just like to drill down further because it can make me, at times, I can make my zone a little bit smaller, tighter, and it will just mean that my risk to reward ratio will increase. But the only issue sometimes I will miss the boat, and it will make a move upwards or downwards just before it reaches my new zone. So, but yeah, like if you look on the 12-hour zone chart here, I've made a zone that's marked out, and then we got a lovely explosive candle, and then we've got, followed by lots of follow through candles. So that's a really, really nice zone. So I've got my eye on that. This was good, but we've now penetrated the zone, so it's no longer valid. But I did actually like this one here. But because for my rules, I'm no longer allowed to trade that. Now because this zone has been penetrated by this wick here. My trading rules are just basically, once the zone is no longer fresh, as in it's been penetrated, it's just not viable for me on the daily chart, that is. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised for now to see next week, we've seen a little reaction here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a continuation on the upside. But yeah, I've missed the boat on that zone now, so If it does come down, this is the zone that I am eyeing, just right here. Let's switch to the Russell. Now the Russell, I like the look of a lot more. This is the one I've got my eye on. I've had my eye on this now for a number of weeks, but you know, it's taking its time. The price is actually falling. It's getting closer and closer now to the levels that I have my eye on. And this is the zone here. I have in particular, like, this is what I've really got my eye on. Look at this explosive candle. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. So yeah, this is what I'm keeping my eye on. So I have actually set my alert for the $2,311 mark, but I do feel like if it continues coming down a little lower, I would probably trim that zone. Let me see. I could make it really tight and drop it to here, but then I run the risk of, you know, not getting into the trade. I would actually, that would also be an option, but like before, you can always drill down further. Yeah, this is on the 12-hour. I would possibly do something like that. I would just say on a side note, I do feel like that I have a lot more joy on the 12-hour and 16 hours charts drilling down. Yeah, there we go. On the 16-hour, I would actually move that up now a touch to about there. So yeah, now, I'm sorry I'm going off a little bit. This is supposed to be a video on me, what I've got my eye on for the coming week, but I just want to just delve into a little bit about how I mark my levels and with zones and different time charts and things. Hopefully somebody will find it interesting and helpful. So yeah, I do like the look of the Russell, really, very much so. So yeah, we still got a little bit of a pullback to go, but I quite like it's this candle here. Let's have a quick look at the trend. Back to the daily. That's another thing that's very important when looking out, when thinking about what trades to take. I am a trend following trader, so you know, an uptrend is what if I'm looking to long this, I want to be in an uptrend. And yeah, this is on the weekly chart. That's an uptrend on the weekly, and this was a very deep pullback, but we didn't actually drop lower than this point here. So yeah, I would most definitely still in an uptrend on the weekly chart. Let's quick look on the daily. Yeah, most definitely still on an uptrend, daily and weekly, so all goods there. The other indice I'm looking at, I've never actually in my life traded this, the CAC 40, the French index. I've never traded it. So I would need to do a little bit of back testing on it, but I have actually the zone has actually stood out to me. It looks quite good to me, and that would be this zone here on the daily chart. If you can see here, we've got like I wouldn't call that a hammer candle, but you know, big sell off here, and then a reaction, sprung back up, the seller took control, and then on the daily we got followed by 3 more decisive candles, so lots of follow through. So yeah, I'm looking at that zone, got my eye on that. It looks quite good, and as you can see, clearly in an uptrend on the daily. Look, like low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So my thinking is come back into this zone just here. We continue upwards. Yeah, so let's have a look on the weekly quickly. yeah, I would say, yeah, still on an uptrend right there. Yeah, it's been going sideways since March. Oh, okay. Sideways action since March 24, but it looks like it's made a move now. So yeah, I mean, I'd have no problems trading this on the daily. We're in a clear uptrend. So yeah, that's it for the indices. So we just check the seasonality for all three instruments. Let me just make this bigger. Right, let's go to the Dow Jones. Right, so once the trading week commences, will be on the 17th, Monday the 17th of November. Whoops. Which is here, this red line. So with the Russell, this is the 10-year seasonality, 10 years worth of seasonality here on this chart. So this is measuring the data, the price action from the last 10 years. This is what it's predicting from now on until mid-Feb. It's basically sideways action. Now this doesn't mean that this is set in stone, it's going to happen, but it wouldn't let me stop me trading it. But you know, if it can give us like an extra confirmation, then it's all good. But I would say from then up until Feb, it is going to rise, but it's not like real sharp like this here. It's just slow and steady. So let's check the Russell. Right, again, let's get one on for the 17th. Again, I wouldn't stop sudden sharp moves to the upside, but I would say again till mid-Feb, we're looking at a slow and steady increase in price, so that's not so bad. And let's check out this French index. Oh, this is looking more like it. This looks much better, yeah. So let's have a look. 17th. Yeah, so that looks quite good. I like the look of this. So yeah, that's quite a good move to the upside, estimated, and that is predicted to end on the 9th of February, which we should possibly see a really sharp move to the downside. Yeah, so that is the indices. Let's quickly cover the stocks. I've got my eye on a handful of stocks, and they're all like heavyweights, real heavyweights. Now when it comes to the stocks, I like to trade off the weekly chart. The reason being is on the daily chart, which is that's the gaps are humongous. Like this is on the daily chart. Look at these gaps. And then, especially if you're a prop trader like myself, with a 10% drawdown limit and 5% for the day, these gaps can be the end of you. You know, once the opening bell rings for the US stocks, the market opens, who knows what's going to happen. So yeah, I like to trade off the weekly. You don't have the bigger gaps. The downside to it is that you'd hold in these a lot longer. You hold them a lot longer, but it just keeps us a little bit safer. And yeah, I wouldn't advise trading the stocks on the daily. Prop challenges, no chance. Yeah, so let's get to it. Right, the first stock we have, I'll keep my eye on, is Amazon. This is the zone I have marked out just here. The zone begins around the $220 mark. Again, we've got a nice zone here, base and candle, and then one explosive candle right out, and then this is a really big, the following week is a really big candle, but I wouldn't call it explosive. It's large, I would call it decisive, a nice big decisive candle, but it's quite a big move. So yeah, although I have my zone set out around the $220 mark, I would actually look to engage around the $218 point. Like, let me just show you what I do. Like, here's me candle for the zone. Oh sorry, here's my zone for the candle. Wrong way round. But I would like to do just to trim the zone, the entry size, and increase my risk to reward. I just like to just try and get in at the, I ignore the wick and just get in at the bottom of the actual body of the candle. So yeah, that happens to be around $218. So if Amazon can pull back to that price point this week, I'm on it. Let's just check the seasonality for Amazon. I don't think it's got looking great, is it? Yeah, it's just sideways now, up and down until the end of the year into next year. But again, I wouldn't let that stop me getting involved. Let me just show you why. On the weekly, is a low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And we keep getting these higher highs. Not so much here. It's a bit lower than this, but we have cleared it with this move just. So yeah, I would expect, hope that move's going to continue. Now, although I did say I don't base my entry point on the daily chart, you can still use the daily chart just to see, you know, uptrends, downtrends, sideways trends. Yeah, so going on this, it's a bit messy, but yeah, you know, I would say that's clearly on an uptrend anyway on the weekly chart. So yeah, Amazon is something else I'm looking at. Now LV, that's the Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy. That's that the luxury brands. Now when it comes to the weekly, what's sort of holding me back? I'm looking to long this, by the way. But one thing that concerns me is that this is a downtrend, and like I say, I'm a trend. I follow the trend. That's my trading style. But this is clearly downtrend. Lower high, lower high. Yeah, we don't know where this move's going to end, but you know how I base it is once we have three, we got the high, lower high, lower high. Once we get the third lower high, that's when I class it as a downtrend. Yeah, so to me, clear downtrend, but I am actually thinking to long this. One of the reasons being is seasonality, which is excellent. That's Monday, and then estimated to a really big move upwards until roughly the 13th of Feb. But that's one thing in our favour. And this zone here, my goodness, look at this candle. So although we have this big huge basing candle here at a long wick, I've just trimmed me entry point down to the $552 mark. Currently 636. I don't know, maybe we won't actually reach that point. Maybe I'm being a little bit optimistic, but I'm just liking this candle in this zone. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get a pullback to that level, and then I will hop on. Like the last stock I'm going to cover now is Microsoft. Again, another heavyweight stock. Excuse me. This is the weekly chart again. Clear uptrend. I would say with this candle here, it's like sort of, is this running out of steam for the time being? Is this due now a bit of a pullback? Quite possibly. Possibly. Right. Seasonality is not great. So that's from the 15th of December. It's predicting a sharp, very sharp fall up until what? The 9th of Jan. Okay, that's not great. Now, I've set my zone. Well, I've looked to enter this trade around the $477 mark. As you can see here, we got a nice base zone here. 2 candles, indecisive candles. You have the leg in, 2 indecisive candles, and then a lot of momentum to the upside. Again, like you can see here, the zone actually started around the $483 mark, but I've trimmed my entry point to 477. Now, what I will say is this is actually a zone right here that I've marked out. We got an indecisive candle, and then we've got an explosive candle outwards here, which is nice, with another decisive candle to the upside. So yeah, I mean, we've already got a reaction here. So yeah, like I said earlier, once a zone's been penetrated, if I'm not on the trade early doors, then it's no longer for me. For me to get back on at this zone now, I'd need to see a reaction up here and then fall all the way back down, and then I might consider it. For the time being, I wouldn't jump on now because we're at $510. Too much distance now between the zone and the current price. So yeah, that's all the stocks covered. Let's have a quick look at the currencies now. Look at these on there. We're going to look at the currencies on the daily chart, just because from my estimation at least, I feel like the dollar, the US dollar, is going to continue its uptrend, which means all the other currencies are going to get whipped by the dollar and continue to fall. So yeah, this is just me now, textbook trend following. I believe it should just be very simple to trade. You just look for the nearest zones, decent zones, and then just get stuck right in. So that's what I'm looking to do now. Just get on the beginning of this potential major dollar move. So is this the daily chart? No, yeah, I'm looking at the futures chart, which I always do when doing my analysis for the forex pairs. So how this is going to work is we got the dollar, we have the low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So what I'm guessing is that the price is just going to fall into my little zone here that I've marked out, and then continue its march upwards. So yeah, that's looking really strong. I would expect that price now to maybe pull back but continue going upwards. Let's just compare it and let's see which currencies I currently like best at the moment. Now, I'm already on this trade, the euro US dollar. That's a gap that you got. Yeah, I did. I think it was Thursday, Friday. Just gone. I actually shorted the euro USD just because, as we can see, the dollar's looking strong, nice uptrend, and the euro futures coming price coming to my zone, which I'd marked out. So yeah, I'm currently in the euro, and again this is looking really good to me. Look, high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Hopefully this is going to be a lower high and just keep coming down. Yeah, so that's, like I say, textbook trend following. Right, that's all for the British pound. I've marked the zone up around the 133.12 mark. Now there's quite a bit of distance for the price to come into this zone, but if it does come up, makes a move next week, then this is around this area is when it would be a good idea to maybe get stuck in and short the British pound USD. I'm not liking the look of the Aussie dollar, just because that's where my zone for the way I do things begins here once I've shortened it, and like I've said, this wick here has penetrated the zone, so that's no longer valid for me. So the next valid, I could drill down, I'm telling a lie. One possible thing that we could do is actually go to lower time frames. Let's have a quick look, eh? I'll show you what I do. 600. Okay. Well, on this 600 minute, we could potentially drop the price, the zone, cut the zone back until here. So it's no longer penetrated. I wouldn't count this as a penetration, this candle here. I would not include that. It'd be these two here that would violate it, but all good. Let's look at the 12 hours. I would leave the zone exact same place. Let's check the 14. I keep it in 16. Right, this is the 18 hours. Again, yeah, I would not actually change that zone up from there. Let's go even lower. 4-hour chart. Yeah, I could make that zone even shorter. Looking at the 4-hour, you could potentially shorten it right there, increase our risk to reward. But yeah, I would probably just go with the 600 minutes, 10 hours, probably 720. Yeah, so that would be potential, has some potential, but like, you don't want to be too overexposed. I wouldn't want to be too overexposed, sorry. So I would like to take, like, say, one currency trade of max allocation, which is 2% of my bankroll, or I could potentially trade two different currencies, but you know, just split the percentage in two. So we'd have 1% on each currency. Yeah, but yeah, I do feel like that the euro looked better. The euro's looking much better than the British pound and the Aussie dollar. So yeah, the euro's the one so far. The Canadian dollar I like the look of. As you can see, the daily, we've got this lovely zone here, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4 decisive candles to the downside. Lots of follow through conviction. So yeah, I would be hoping if the price revisits this zone here, a nice sharp, some more of the same. And yeah, so I quite like the Canadian. I would say the Canadian and the euro so far looking good to me. And the yen, like potentially this zone here, which is quite far away, and maybe possibly this one here. Let's have a look. We've got the zone there, but it's a decent zone, but I would probably be more inclined to just be a bit more patient and wait back wait for it to potentially pull back more. This is a much higher quality zone, so yeah, you could probably possibly take that if you've been a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more risky, but there's better options here in my opinion. The Euro, Canadian looking good so far. Right, okay. The New Zealand dollar. The zone here, that's okay. But one thing, this candle looked quite good. So where would I start? I could start my zone around here. This is what's standing out to me, this candle. Look at that. Exploded out that zone. We have two basic candles, indecisive candles, and then one. Look at that. So yeah, that's a possibility. Clear downtrend, textbook trend following. Look at that. High, lower high, lower high. Yeah, I quite like that zone. But that's why I actually already have an alert set around that. The 0.57190. So yeah, we're not too far away from that. That looks quite good. And the Swizzy. I like the Swizzy, but I will say this. I actually stopped out the Swizzy on Friday, yesterday. I made a mistake. I jumped in. I FOMO'd in. I set a buy stop. It didn't set off for some reason. It failed. I must have done it wrong. The price pulled back. I jumped in. And then, so I jumped in when the price had come out this zone, and then it's just exploded back in, took me out. If it had been more patient, or if they got in at the original point, my stop loss would have been higher. It would have probably been around, I can tell you exactly where it would have been. My stop loss would have been, let's see, this green line. My stop loss would have been right there. So it would have still been in the trade, but this is what happens when you FOMO in, you rush things, you pay the price. So yeah, but looking at this is looking beautiful. Look at that. We've got this extremely bearish candle. So look at the reaction out to this zone here. These red candles. So yeah, that's looking really good. But I'm reluctant to get involved again. I've already been stopped out, and again, like I said before, the price now is so far away from my marked out zone. It goes against my rules. I've missed that. I missed the boat. That's the end of it for me. I'm actually in the Euro at the moment. It's going okay. Let me just show you how it's going. There we go. Here we go. Where is it? So I've got 2% of my balance on the trade. I'm currently up $468. So you know, hopefully it can continue. So yeah. So with when it comes to the currencies, I've got my eye on the Euro. I'm already in the Euro, sorry. The Canadian looks decent. That Swizzy looks great. But I think I might have missed the boat. That's over now. It's going to make its move. And that New Zealand dollar, not so bad too. So yeah, that's enough. That's my weekly outlook for week 47. Yeah, hopefully somebody finds this interesting and maybe helpful. So yeah, anybody that watches, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Bye.